I'm going with that.
Bah, bah, bah.
It's a Thursday morning. It's beautiful. Is the weather finally going to get warm, Dustin? What is happening? Usually by the end of May, we got
Adam,
summer weather.
As we take a look at the barometer today,
figure that out.
Actually, I did take a peek at the 10-day forecast because I know you're a big 10-day guy.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming through some positive some conditions this weekend into next week. We're going to be into the 70s on Monday and Tuesday, and then into the 80s next week, mostly sunny. I mean, we're talking pool weather as the kids are getting out of school.
Yep.
I hope everyone out there is ready for summer because it's here. It's coming.
That's right.
No more rain.
It's about time. What is the dew point today? Do we know the dew point? Can somebody get on that?
You know what? Call Andy Baskin.
Let's. Oh, man, he got to a nice fight with Ken last week. That was funny.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Anyway, a lot to get to today. The Guardians salvaged the finale of their series. The Cavs trade rumors are beginning. But we got to begin with the Browns on this beautiful Thursday morning because nothing says beautiful weather like the Browns. Yesterday, Brad Stainberg. Do you know Brad at all?
I don't know him personally. I follow him.
So Brad's a young up-and-comer. Trying to, covering the Browns. He's doing his own thing now. And I think he created, or maybe it's what does it say? A close friend of Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders is a fan of keeping track of OTA quarterback stats, commenting on my Instagram post. And so I'm not sure if Brad made this, Brad did the stats there. I guess he must have because, he's at the Berea, I believe, and we'll talk to Zach Jackson on UCSS later. And we've seen 7,000 videos of passes, and the stats are all here. And apparently, this guy who is Shedeur Sanders' friend said, "Y'all need to see how this unfolds. So when certain decisions are made, y'all can't argue or deny the fact of who is the best." I don't know.
Are they not factoring in who they're playing against in practice?
They're not factoring.
Oh, if Shedeur has, goes 8 for 11 versus the 3s and 4s, yet Dillon Gabriel, is 6 for 10 against the 2s, like it sort of makes a difference.
Dustin, honestly,
these are the stupidest. Can I say fucking stats of all time?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm saying it because they're the stupidest fucking stats of all time.
Yeah.
The fact that people actually go on Twitter and are obsessing over these stats. I talked to Zach on the phone yesterday. I'm like, Zach, we're talking about these practices, and he's like, man, people eat this stuff up. Like, he's got to keep stats now for practice.
Even he's doing it, huh?
I know. Well, at least they're monitoring it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This is just crazy.
Oh my god,
because
it's nauseating.
First of all, beyond what team you're playing with or against, the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, there is no tackling. There is no hitting.
There's no pass rush.
Nothing. So, if somebody is terrible in this situation, okay, that might be a little bit of a red flag if somebody's terrible. But no level of success, in my opinion, matters to me. And that's not to knock Shedeur Sanders. I'm hoping Shedeur Sanders knocks it out of the park and becomes the future Browns quarterback.
Yes.
They need it. We desperately need it. We want a team that wins. Everybody wants Shedeur Sanders to succeed, or Dillon Gabriel, whoever. Want one of those two, for me, to kick ass.
Absolutely.
But I just, the stats are so meaningless. This is not football. This is practice. And to say touchdowns, even Joe, if you saw Joe Flacco's touchdown yesterday, his touchdown, the practice touchdown to Harold Fannin, I believe it was. And it was a pass that he fit into a tight window. And I think I maybe mentioned this yesterday on UCSS, but in a game, those defensive backs are diving in there to knock the ball down, or they're hitting the wide receiver, the tight end, as he's catching the ball.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen in practice. And that's not a knock at the quarterback. It's just something you have to take into account. To just look at raw numbers from a practice and make a judgment based on that is, as you said, fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Crazy. And let me just tell you this right now.
Yeah.
The team, the coaches are not keeping these sort of stats internally.
Yeah.
Now, they will grade practice.
Sure.
These players, based on X amount of reps they get, in practice, they will get a grade of, Maybe it's 85%, meaning they got the proper check, pre-snap, post-snap, made the right read, threw to the right guy. Whether it was caught or not, that's not even really relevant to the coaches. The coaches like, okay, you threw to a kid who's not even going to make the team. He dropped it. So that now that stat is held against. No, it's not held against you, but it would be on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's so silly. The coaches don't care about that. The coaches care about, did you throw to the right guy? Did you make the right read? Did you make the right check pre-snap? Like, those are the things that are important to these coaches when they're evaluating. Did the player have a good practice?
Yeah. Those are the stats that matter.
Yes.
And those are the stats that we can't answer those questions. I don't know what the right read is on the play. Even if you played in the league like you did.
I wouldn't know the right read on the play.
How would you know?
No.
We're not we're not there when they're calling the play. We don't know. Like, there's things that the coaches know in terms of how prepared a guy is for the day. Did he learn his, did he have, I don't know, 15 plays that he had to get down today, and did he have them all down, or did he only have 12 down? I don't know. But these are things that we on the outside, even the beat reporters that are there, have no clue about those things. You can't. Only the coaches and the players know those statistics and who's doing well. So, yeah, there are some things as an audience, depending on how well you know football, that you can see just the way the guy throws the ball. Did he have good touch on a pass, maybe? Things like that. But that's such a small percentage of what really matters.
No, I totally agree. Now, when you get into these games and a guy goes out in a preseason game that's on television and performs well and tears it up, I mean, other teams are going to see that, and that may be a reason to keep a guy on a roster, because you're like, oh man, other teams may snag him off the waiver wire if we cut this guy, this, that, and the other. But that's totally different than this. Like, no other NFL teams looking at social media trying to figure out, man, what did Shedeur Sanders do in May? Man,
right.
Tell you what, that may earn him a spot in our practice squad.
Yeah, Dillon Gabriel threw a pick in a mini camp.
Yeah,
let's cross him off the list.
My God.
And if you look at the numbers without even seeing what's on the field, the numbers by themselves are, I would say, completely meaningless. Yeah. Is that fair, or is that overstating?
No, it's fair.
So everybody can keep track of all they want. I'm curious to hear what Zach has to say about what does Shedeur look like. Forget the numbers, which were good yesterday. Again, it's worth nothing, but they were good. Okay, fine. What did he look like? How's the ball coming out of his hand? Does he, from what Zach has heard, is he picking up the offense well? Is he fitting in with the team well? These are the important things that matter. Not that he threw 3 touchdowns in a scrimmage with shorts and no tackling.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 1,000%. And Zach has said on UCSS, he's wrote about it.
Yeah,
that Shedeur looks like an NFL quarterback. Like, throws a really good ball. Like, looks like he knows what he's doing. He's a little bit bigger than Dillon Gabriel. Like, he looks the part. So that's a positive.
Yeah.
For the Browns so far. But you got 2 rookies that weren't drafted very high that are going to be splitting reps. So good luck. I mean, good luck with these guys thinking that they're going to be, either one of these guys could end up being the starting quarterback week 1. It ain't happening. I'm telling you right now, it's not happening.
Most likely the case. That is true.
Brown's going to start a 3rd-round pick week 1.
I doubt it.
You've got Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, 2 former first-round picks on the roster who played in the league in Super Bowls.
No, unless your only goal this year is to get the first pick in the draft next year, then you're not starting a rookie week 1. I mean, I guess in theory, if one of them was just so amazing, and we've seen that from time to time.
Okay, if Dillon Gabriel, and this has happened before.
Yeah.
This happened with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Who was a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah, I think he was the 3rd.
3rd round pick out of Wisconsin. Undersized.
Yep.
Very similar to Dillon Gabriel, undersized. Comes into Seattle, and I believe at the time it was like Matt Flynn and maybe Tavares Jackson.
I think that's it. Definitely Matt Flynn. I don't remember Tavares Jackson.
And I think they just gave him like a bunch of money from like the one game he had on Monday Night Football at the Packers and made some money.
That's right.
But anyway, Russell Wilson outperformed everyone in camp to the point where it was so noticeable that he had to play.
Right.
Now, could that happen with Dillon Gabriel or Sanders? It could.
Yeah.
Is it likely? No, it's not likely.
Well, there's a reason that we remember Russell Wilson because it almost never happens.
Yeah.
But if it does, then great. That's fantastic if it does. Start those guys. If one of those guys turns out to be Russell Wilson, for all the criticism of Russell Wilson, he's been a quarterback of a Super Bowl team. Obviously, he had an amazing team around him, but for the most part, he in his prime was a good quarterback. Not elite, but it was a good quarterback. And if one of these guys is that, fantastic.
And here's the thing. That was in 2012.
Yeah.
It's been 13 years since that I can remember that a rookie, not a first or second round pick was the starting quarterback week one. I mean, I'm sure maybe there's been another one that's escaping me, but none that have turned out to be like this guy who MVP, Super Bowl champ, all those things, Hall of Famer, really good player. It's rare.
Now I feel like I need to look it up. Okay, so let's see if we can remember if any of these guys started as a rookie. So non-first round picks last year, the Saints drafted Spencer Rattler. He didn't start week one for the Saints. The rest of the guys either didn't play or didn't play to the end of the year. 2023, Will Levis. Did he start week one? He was the third.
I got it.
He was the 33rd pick in the draft. He was the first pick of the
Going back
round.
to 2021, I've got week one starters that are rookies.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Burrow in 2020.
First round pick.
Kyler Murray, 19. Darnold, 18. Deshaun Kaiser with the Browns, second round pick.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Jameis Winston, Mariota, Derek Carr, second round pick. EJ Manuel, first round pick. Geno Smith, second round pick. Luck, first round. Griffin, first round. Ryan Tannehill, first round.
Yeah.
Whedon, first round. Russell Wilson, third round.
Cam you mentioned Dak Prescott. He was a fourth round pick.
Fifth round, I think, or fourth round.
Fourth. Yeah, I got it up right now. So that's the ones I could think of. I can't remember. Did there was one other guy I was looking at? 2022 Bailey Zappi. No, he didn't play week one. Did Sam Howell start week one for the Commanders in 2022?
Don't know.
Commanders 2022 opening day starter. I can't remember who their quarterback was. No, it was Carson Wentz.
So there you go. And
Yeah.
then before that, you have to go back to my rookie year, which is 2005. And Kyle Orton, who was a third or maybe fourth round pick out of Purdue, started.
Okay,
the
that's
Bears.
a long time ago.
That's an 2005. I mean, now we're going back into the 90s. So it doesn't happen unless you're a first round pick for the most part.
I thought Aiden O'Connell maybe started week one in 2023, but it wasn't. It was Gardner Minshew. So since Russell Wilson, the only the only quarterback drafted after the second round that has started week one is Dak Prescott.
16.
Did Romo get hurt? Was that at the end of his career there? I can't remember now. Or was that I don't even remember how he.
I think Romo had been retired. No.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. That's 10 years ago already. But yeah, I mean, it's so you're talking about it's happened, twice in the last 15 years that anybody drafted lower than the second round started week one.
Romo played one game in 2016.
Oh, so he was still there
on the Cowboys, and then he got hurt. He didn't start that. I don't remember that in 2016. He threw 3 passes that year.
And what, like late in the season, or?
I have no idea.
I think he got hurt in the beginning of the year, and then he came back and maybe got hurt again. I don't know. That was pretty much. I think that was the end of his career, right? He didn't play anymore after that, did he?
No.
Yeah. So it's very rare. If it happens, it happens. But it's most likely that Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett will start week one. I think if the Browns are really trying to win, then probably Joe Flacco's your week one starter. If it's just about let's see what we got in some of these guys, then maybe you give Kenny Pickett the first couple of weeks. If he sucks after a month, then you go on to whichever court of the rookies has played better. I think there's a sense that there's always this. This is not just a Cleveland thing. Whenever there's quarterbacks battling in a competition, people take their sides, take their camps, and they'll spin everything good for one guy and everything bad for the other guy. What's best for the Browns ultimately is that the rookies don't start week one most likely, and that one of them, when they're given an opportunity, whether it's week 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, just runs with it and plays great from there. And then you could use your 2 first-round picks next year to build around him instead of having to draft a quarterback. But that's, the idea of one of these guys starting week 1, as you say, is highly unlikely. And again, take everything from mini camp, let alone, obviously when you get to training camp, it starts meaning a little more. But from mini camp, you have to take everything with a huge grain of salt. Everything at this point.
No doubt. There's nothing that is going to determine who's the starting quarterback on May 29th.
Right.
For September. That's just
right.
Nothing.
And there's certainly nothing, even if there is some minor thing that plays a role, it has nothing to do with information we have. It's behind the scenes stuff that we're not aware of.
Correct.
That may play a role in it ultimately. But all right, some messages from the chat so far before we move on to some other things here. Sam Hill with the bull emoji, a fox emoji, and is that a smiley face emoji? I don't know. I'm not good with the emojis. I don't know what that one is. Crazy leg.
Is that a salute? Salute.
Oh, a salute. I guess I just have bad eyes, not bad ability to read emojis. Crazy Legs 225 Bull. Every Shedeur rep was 7 on 7. Grossly skewed and BS way to get cheap likes on X. Yeah, that was the point.
Well said.
Diesel, how is our long snapper looking at OTAs? I don't know. I believe there is a long snapper battle going on. Because the Browns cut their long snapper.
Between who?
I can't. Who is? I think they let Charlie Hewlett go. Let me bring the R lads up. We got to get the R lads for the Browns depth chart here. The battle at long snapper.
Rex Sunahara.
Yep. And Brent Madison or something like that. You've got a free agent, an undrafted free agent from last year, and an undrafted free agent for this year. Let's go. That's a big battle right there. All jokes aside, I mean, I know we're not going to spend much time on the long snapper.
That's important.
It is an important job.
It is.
Right? And when you switch, after years of having a veteran at that position, and now you go with a young guy, that could a bad snap.
We take for granted the operation of a PAT, a field goal, a punt, because it's so important.
Yeah.
And the Browns actually have had good long snappers for a long time. It was Charlie Pomprion.
I forgot about him.
Or maybe not Charlie Pomprion, but it was Pomprion.
Ryan. Was it Ryan?
Ryan Pomprion.
I don't know.
Charlie Hewitt. Pomprion was the jersey that Mike Polk used to wear in that Factory of Sadness
That's
video.
right.
Way back when. The legendary Factory of Sadness.
Yeah,
video.
And it's been Charlie Hewlett now for a number of years since Pomprion. Ryan Pomprion, yeah.
There he is, Ryan.
Yeah, he was the Browns' long snapper from 2003 to 2011.
It's a minute. Guy made an NFL career, probably has millions of dollars in the bank.
Yeah. Dude, if you're good at that job, I mean, you could play forever, 15, 20 years.
Dude, my son is like, he kind of like wants to long snap. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's learn.
Smart. I haven't touched base with him in a while, but there's a guy who worked on The Fan in New York and CBS Sports Radio named Peter Schwartz. And his son was the long snapper for his high school team in Long Island, and he was trying to get a scholarship. I haven't touched base with him in a while to see what's happened. He's probably in college now, the kid. But, that gets you a scholarship, and could, if you're good enough, get you a dozen years in the NFL, a nice pension, and all that stuff. If you're good at that, you're in pretty good shape for a job. All right, let's switch gears here from the Browns to the Cavaliers. There was our buddy Chris Fedor, who you and I both know really well from his time on The Fan, and of course he's now a Cavs beat reporter for Cleveland.com. Chris, I don't know where he was on yesterday. I actually read his comments on an article, CBS Sports, but so I can't remember if he was I think he was just doing his own podcast. But he obviously is, he has a relationship with Kobe Altman. And he was saying that he thinks they are going to finally make some changes. Like, that Kobe's been dead set in the past about making any changes to the core of this team, and that he believes that that's not the case this year, that anybody is available outside of Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. And if Chris is saying that, that makes me believe that something is going to happen. Now, ultimately, you got to find the right partner, but I think it's pretty clear they've got to make some changes beyond the top 2 players on this team. What say you?
I agree with that, and I've been saying for a while that Darius Garland, to me, I like Darius Garland. I've loved watching the guy play. I think he's a great team guy. I think that he's a hell of a player. I just don't know if he fits with this team.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like changing my tune during the regular season because everything seemed to click and work during the regular season. The problem is we got to the postseason again, and we had questions about toughness, and we had injury concerns, and all these things that have plagued this team for the last X amount of years, where it's been this core 4, continue to rear their ugly head. And so I don't know what the answer is. To me, the only answer is we've given this how many opportunities for it to work, and it hasn't. It's time to just open the door, and maybe you have to trade a star player for a bunch of other pieces.
We talked about this a little yesterday on UCSS.
Yeah, excuse me.
In a new era of the NBA where you can't put together super teams the same way, you've got Oklahoma City. They punched their ticket to the finals yesterday by beating up Minnesota. Indiana trying to punch their ticket to the finals tonight when they play the Knicks in Game 5 of that series. And you look at Indiana and Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City's got the guy who's the MVP in SGA. Tyrese Halliburton is obviously a really good player. He's 3rd team All-NBA. But and I'm not saying they don't have very, very good players, but what makes Indiana and Oklahoma City stand out is that they have, obviously Oklahoma City's got a superstar. Tyrese Halliburton's got as a superstar for Indiana. But after that, like players 2 through 8 are all really good. They don't have 3 stars, these teams. They have 1 superstar, and then they have, I'm not saying player number 8 on Oklahoma City is as good as player number 2. Same thing Indiana. But 2 through 8, they have very good to good players who can all contribute, all can score, all can do all the little things, and those teams are just deeper with good players and playoff caliber players. And we learned again that Isaac Okoro, not a playoff caliber player. Dean Wade, not a playoff caliber player. I don't want to completely write off Ty Jerome as a playoff caliber player because he played well against Miami, but he was awful in the Indiana series. I'll give him one more chance next year because he was so good. But they don't have enough playoff caliber players. And so maybe trading – in the past, it was always let's combine guys to get 1 superstar. That's not possible for the Cavs. I think for the Cavs, trading Garland and Allen for 3-4 players, maybe some cap space, maybe some draft picks, might be the way to go to improve their quality of depth and quality of playoff playable players, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense, and I'm with you. And I think the Pacers might sort of be the model.
Yeah.
Because they've got Siakam, they've got Halliburton. Those are 2 all-star players,
Yeah.
And the Cavs have 2, if they keep Mobley and Donovan, 2 all-star players. And I think Donovan's probably better than both of those, both Halliburton and I mean, maybe not Halliburton. I don't know. I mean, do you think Donovan's better than Halliburton?
I think he is, but not by a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, Donovan was 1st team All NBA. The league believes he's better, and Halliburton was 3rd team All NBA. But Donovan's been in the league longer.
True.
So, I mean, I think they're in this, they're both all-star players. Donovan's probably a higher level, but still, I mean, it is the model. I agree. I mean, right now, and Siakam, as good as he is, he's not a superstar. He's a very good player. A very good second player.
Who was the second best player on a championship team?
Yeah.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and now he's the leading scorer for them. At least he was he has been in the playoffs. Was he in the regular season?
Well, he had that. Didn't he have that one game that skewed? I mean, he had like 40 points
That's
in
true.
game 1 or 2.
Yeah, he did leave. He did lead them in the regular season too. But
Did he?
yeah, he led them in the regular season. He averaged 20.2 points. Halliburton 18.6. But Halliburton for the season averaged 18.5 points.
What's he averaging in the
rebounds,
postseason? Like 28
and 9 assists. No, Halliburton in the postseason is averaging 19.5 points, but 6 rebounds and 10 assists. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, he's almost averaging a freaking triple double.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, they have 6 guys averaging 10 or more points a game. And then they have, their 7th and 8th guy, McConnell and Toppin, averaging 9 and 8 points a game. So you have 7 guys averaging 8 or more points a game. So you have 7 guys that are, good scorers.
And then on any random night, Nembhard, Naismith.
Right. Could have a huge game.
Miles Turner could give you 18, 20 points, whatever it may be.
Yeah, he's averaging 16.6 rebounds and 1.5 assists and 2.5 blocks per game.
I don't know, man. I think I'd rather have a team with like 6 guys that can give you 20 like every night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. They got that better depth, and we thought we had that, and we don't. So now Cavs got to readjust, and I think they got to get bigger. They got to get more physical. They got to get guys who play, better defense. I saw there was this guy, I can't think of his name. He covers the T-Wolves for I don't know what outfit, but
Star Tribune.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know, but he suggested a trade of Darius Garland to the T-Wolves for Jaden McDaniels and the Wolves' first-round pick this year. Jaden McDaniels is great defensive player. He's only 24 years old. He's 6'9", averaged 12.6 boards, 2 assists per game in the regular season. In the playoffs for Minnesota, he's averaged 15 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, and a block shot per game. Obviously, Darius Garland is the better player, but I like the idea of a trade like that. Now, I think you'd have to then trade Jared Allen for some sort of playmaker in another trade. But
I love
like
Jared
bigger.
Allen. He's a great Cav. He's a great player. I just don't know that I see the Cavaliers winning anything with him kind of in an important role.
Right.
I mean, that's sort of the reality right now.
Right. Yeah. Like if you could turn, think about if you could turn, if you made that trade with Minnesota and then you turned, traded Jared Allen to a team that needs a big man for, say, a big guard that can, handle the ball and be, lead the offense, take the ball to the basket. And then you had whoever that is, plus Donovan Mitchell, Jaden McDaniels, Evan Mobley, and say DeAndre Hunter as your starting 5 next year. With Strus, Ty Jerome, and maybe one other player that you could use that's legitimately usable off the bench. It's a different chemistry, different mix. It'd be a bigger team. I don't know. We'll see what they can do. But a lot of work to be done here in the next couple of months for the Cavaliers. Finally, the Cleveland Guardians look to be on the verge of a sweep by the LA Dodgers.
Nice comeback yesterday.
Yeah, they had got smoked in the first 2 games, 7-2, 9-5. And then yesterday, they were down 4-1 going to the bottom of the 7th. They scored 1 in the 7th and then 5 in the 8th to take a 7-4 lead. Angel Martinez, the last, I think, 4 runs coming with 2 outs. Nolan Jones got a big hit. He had a good game. Angel Martinez with the 3-run homer to give him the lead. Jones and Martinez combined to go 5 for 8, 3 runs, 5 ribbies, a homer. Which was nice. Jose got 3 more hits again. Quan did get hurt, so we'll keep an eye out for that. They can't afford to lose him. Clase gets the save in the 9th. His velocity still a little down, but it was better. He was throwing 98, 99, which it sounds crazy to say that's down. But, he's usually throwing between 99 and 100. And he was throwing between 98 and 99. But his last appearance was even lower than that. So, all right, good news there. I hadn't seen that. Stephen Vogt saying Quan should be good to go. So it looks like it was just precautionary, and they're off today, and so he should be good to go for Friday, which is good. It's a nice win over obviously a really good Dodgers team with Clayton Kershaw starting. And so now,
who the Guardians got this weekend?
They have the Angels, so it's obviously a bad team there. You're playing the Angels at home. They play 7:10 on Friday, 4:10 on Saturday, and 1:40 on Sunday. And the Angels only have one good starter, and he pitched yesterday, so they won't face him. And then you go to the Bronx to face the Yankees, which will be really tough because you're facing their two best starters. Carlos Rodon will pitch the first game of that series, and then Max Fried, who's a Cy Young candidate right now.
Are you surprised how well the Tigers have played this year?
Yes, 100%. I thought they'd be good, but I didn't think they'd be this good.
They have the best record in the American League right now?
They do. I think they have the best record in baseball, just ahead of the Phillies. Yeah, they
like
do.
36-20 or something?
37-20. They've won 4 in a row again since they lost those 3 games in a row to the Guardians. They won the last game of that series, and they've made it 4 in a row
series now, right?
Yeah, so they're 37-20, best record in baseball. It's extremely impressive with 105 games to go. At home, they're 21-8, which is just magnificent. And their pitching is the biggest reason why. They've only given up 204 runs this season. And they have a run differential of plus 84. Only the Yankees have.
Who's their second best pitcher next to Scooble?
On paper, it's probably Jack Flaherty. Although I don't think he's been their second best pitcher. I'm trying to think about it off. Let me look at their ERAs now. Reese Olson has actually been probably their second best pitcher this year. I think Flaherty is their second best pitcher. They might have their starting rotation depth is being challenged right now. They've had some injuries, and one of their starters, Jackson Jobe, a rookie, got pulled out of the game yesterday in the 5th inning, and he had very diminished velocity, which is never a good sign. So we'll see there. But the Tigers have been an amazing story. All right, a few more chats, and then we'll wrap things up here. OG Stem Cell says, God, I miss you guys on 92.3. So glad to see you guys back together.
Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. It's always good to be back.
Yeah.
You know, this is a lot of fun. We get to be together a couple days a week.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we thank you for staying that.
We
Stem
do.
Cell. Max, Panthers started 4th round pick Chris Wenke in 2001. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, we went back.
Yeah, but that's 24 years ago. It's hard to believe that that's that long ago. John says, Brown's so pathetic they have to celebrate practice stats.
True.
That is true. Sam says, Halliburton is on a heater this postseason. There's no denying that. Mitchell's still better overall. Dustin pulling the Star Tribune from the Playing Days archives.
That's right.
True. Yeah. And It's Your Boy says, trade Darius and J.A. for Halliburton. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but the Pacers are certainly not making that trade. They're not trading Halliburton for anything if I'm the Pacers.
No. And by the way, I think they're going to win the whole thing.
You think so?
I do.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
I actually don't. If Oklahoma City wins, I'm fine with that. I don't have any dislike for either of those teams. So it's fine. I don't know what the ratings are going to be like, but I don't work for the NBA, so I don't care.
I will say this much. I mean, It was a little nauseating seeing the McAfee stuff, him going crazy. Because he's a big indie guy, obviously, and that's where they do the show from.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a little nauseating.
All right, maybe you root for Oklahoma City now.
No, not because of McAfee. Whatever. I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny, but the Pacers, man.
All right, the Knicks are favored tonight. You surprised by that? Even though it's at home?
No. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7.
7?
Yes.
Wow.
Only because I believe in conspiracy theories.
The Pacers now minus 670. If it goes 7, the Knicks would be at home. I mean, the Knicks would be favored if the game gets to.
I know,
7.
but they'll blow it.
Probably, right? You know, the league.
I could totally see it going 7.
Yeah.
Pacers win game 7 by double digits.
Oh, and everybody will be, because going into game 7, everybody will think the Knicks are going to win it. Because if they win the next 2,
I'm telling you,
dude,
it's going to go 7.
All right. We'll see.
Watch.
The
NBA can't go another week without games.
That would be bad. Oklahoma City, they'd love it to go 7.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Obviously, with this series not over yet, the Thunder an overwhelming favorite. Hey, you can get the Pacers at plus 500 to win the title right now. It's a pretty good bet right there, especially if you're confident.
What could you get the Knicks for to win the title?
Yeah, it's right there, plus 3,000. Gonna lay $2 on that. $10.
I mean, man, what were they at the start of the series?
I don't remember.
Like plus 300.
Yeah, I think they favored in the series. I can't even remember now.
They were.
Yeah, I think they were a slight favorite.
Dude,
plus 3,000.
They should have won both game 1 and 2.
3-1 is hard to come back from, but we know something about that here in Cleveland.
We've done it.
Yeah. All right, thanks to everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the love in the chat. Thanks to Max and Z for producing. We'll see you next week, Thursday at 9 a.m. I'll be on UCSS today. When are you going to next be on? I'll be on betting weekly hardball today at 2. When's the next tennis
betting
show?
Weekly tennis. I'm on Monday, 1 p.m., giving you winners on Roland Garros.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll talk to you all next time. See ya.